Hey guys, and welcome to a pretty unique game of Total War Warhammer. I'm a Rubber Duck War, and today we have an awesome game sent in by Chef. It is a 2v2 land battle. Oh my god, what is this down here? This looks disgusting. Look at that face. But anyway, back up to the map. It is a 2v2 versus Grand Cathay and Deamons, an unholy alliance, taking on an equally unholy alliance of Deamons as well as Kislev. It is going to be the generic Deamons, so we're going to get lots of crazy units on both sides. And the reason this is a really fun, unique game is 3 of these players are human, 1 of them is AI. It will take you about 20 seconds to figure out who it is, but just from deployment, can you figure out which player is the AI? So I'll give you a little clue. Chef, of course, is going to be the Deamons here on this side, as is his right with his green HP bars, and he's got a pretty cool build. He's got Bellicor, a couple of Furies up in the skies to contest the air game, and then a mixture of blue horrors down on the low ground, and some cavalry lurking in the trees. We have the Heartseekers of Sinesh, as well as a Soul Grinder in the back pocket there. Load of Flesh Hounds, a guard in the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, a bucket ton of Nurglings. His perhaps human, perhaps AI compadre does come in with a load of Peasant Longswimmen and Jade Warriors in the front, a bucket ton of Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen, Peasant Archers, Iron Hail Gunners, all of the range that he can physically afford in the army here. And I like this quite a bit because, hey, you use your ally to protect you and you bring your mass range for the damage. A couple of horsemen guarding the flanks. We also have grand cannons in the back, a glorious sky lantern up there in the skies, and down on the ground on foot we have a glorious dragon-blooded Lord of Yang magic, bringing every single spell in the roster, because why wouldn't you when you look this fabulous? Opposing them on the other side is a mixture of Kislev and Deamons. We have some glorious heavy war sleds. Looks like 2, 1 on either flank. A couple of Nurglings pushed up in a vanguard position. Some Blood Crushers, interestingly enough. And then 2 very thin battle lines. A load of Armored Corsairs backed up by a load of Bloodletters, some of which are the exalted variety. And then we have some glorious War Bear Riders, a Skull Cannon, Elemental Bear, Big Fat Juicy Basic Daniel Demon Prince, and the glorious Catherine, the icy love of all of our lives, coming on foot. Looks like she's also rocking pretty much every single spell. I think there's a bug in the game where it forces you to bring a lot of spells. That happens quite consistently. So you guys are going to figure out in about 5 seconds which one the AI player is. Of course, it is Grand Cathay, repositioning their entire army and having units move and overlap on top of each other. It's going to be an absolute flustercluck while they sort out their formation. Units just changing sides of the formation, doing general AI stuff. So can our mighty Chef here, leading his Deamons, go toe-to-toe with 2 players when his ally is an AI? Is the AI going to be better than the players? Only time will tell. They're currently walking their cannons back into the forest. Genius strategy moves, which my puny human and duck brain cannot quite figure out. Looks like we're going to get some early engagements on the left-hand side. Fleshhounds looking to 2v1 the Blood Crushers. Interesting choice here. Fleshhounds going to wrap up and around and try to swoop in. We are fighting in the trees. Both these units do count as large, though. And it looks like the Blood Crushers will be losing this relatively significantly due to that rear assault from the Fleshhounds. We've got the Furies getting in here. I did not think this was going to be a good fight for the Doggos. It is a fantastic fight for the Doggos. Blood Crushers getting deleted. It looks like the heavy war sleds a little bit reluctant to get in there, and down and dirty decide to scoot their boot backwards. Perhaps that alliance between Kislev and the Deamons not as tight as they both thought it was. They do move back on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, it looks like the heavy war sleds have located some pesky Nurglings, with Blood Crushers moving up to help deal with them. Apart from that, the Grand Cathay forces still sorting out their formation, trying to break the minds of the players they're up against in its pure genius. Hiding the cannons in the trees, I never would have thought of it. The Fleshhound's going to be falling back here, as well as the glorious Chaos Furies. The Sky Lantern popping some long-range shots. Probably want to aim at the Elemental Bear or at the Demon Prince, just get consistent chip damage on them over the course of the entire battle. Grand Cathay is still just running around like headless chickens right now, but trust me, it's all part of a glorious plan. They're also going to be doing a glorious spell, unfortunately in the wrong direction. Not going to be hitting much there. Looks like the Elemental Bear does do a bit of a breath attack. It is going uphill, though, and unfortunately, the high ground has well and truly been taken here by the Grand Cathay forces. That means Elemental Bear's breath attack not going to do too much on the approach yet. We do have Iron Hail Gunners doing some lovely shots on the Exiled Bloodletters. A beautiful pendulum catches out the Armored Corsairs. Definitely want to overcast that, though, when you're going up against such heavily armored forces. The Nurglings are doing the dreaded slow flank maneuver, which is going to be, there's not that much backline to get into, but hey, jumping on Armored Corsairs and stuff will do it relatively okay. It looks like we get a fat pair of shades go down, catching out Bloodletters and Armored Corsairs alike. But unfortunately for the forces of Grand Cathay, the Heart of Winter has been popped. Look at this high ground advantage, man. Obi-Wan's just wiping a tear from his eyes right now. And the Heart of Winter is also going to help bust through the line a little bit, but there's a pretty strong contingent of Grand Cathay warriors in the middle here. Daniel's floating around, up to no good, about to start some trouble in the Be'lakor's neighborhood. Be'lakor, with all his buffs, though, the Shadow Shroud pops, is going to be able to go toe-to-toe relatively effectively with a Demon Prince. And look at this crossfire! We have the Peasant Archers just firing from all angles. The Grand Cannons have finally revealed themselves to the world. Could be able to do a decent fight there up against Daniel. Blue Horror's doing decent down here on the flank. The Elemental Bears got well and truly up in the face of the Grand Cathay forces, shutting down at the Iron Hail Gunners. If they can fire some shots point-blank range into the Elemental Bear, however, they'll do some really awesome work. We have Peasant Archers looking to unleash a deadly salvo into the enemy as Peasant Spearmen attempt to hold back the might of the bear, but it's certainly not going to be an easy challenge whatsoever. Looks like Daniel's forced himself into the back here, trying to hop on top of those Grand Cannons, but the mighty Soul Grinder does block his path. We're also going to see an Enfeebling Foe go down. Nice little debuff there, and it looks like he is being poisoned at the same time. We get a... Is this a Ice Sheets? It is. An Ice Sheets goes down. Hopefully going to allow the Warbear Riders to really whip in the flanks, and you can see the Unholy Alliance of Kislev and the Red Demons have forced their way through the middle rather successfully. We do have a load of Peasant Archers and Jade Warrior Crossbowmen just consistently firing in to the middle, though, getting some nice chip damage, and we have the Sky Lantern up in the skies doing some good work. We get a lovely Wall of Fire, and this time it's a pretty damn juicy cast from the AI. So the Bloodlayers are getting overwhelmed quite badly here. Oh my god, that damage is huge as it pulls through. Really lovely work. Going to help break up that middle power base for the Red forces. On the left-hand side, it looks like the mighty Be'lakor did decide to float out of it over here to deal with the Blood Crushers, who performed far better than their demonic counterparts on the other flank, who got annihilated rather easily. These bad boys up to 88 kills. However, Be'lakor, he's in no mood to, jest and kind of play games with these guys. He's here for blood and vengeance. He's a little camera shy. He keeps hiding his behind his wings here, doing some pretty decent damage there on that flank. It seems like Catherine has been dragged down by just Nurglings swarming over her, and of course the ever-vicious Fleshhounds. Looks like the Heavy Warstones did do a little bit of cycle charging through them, but have decided to fall back to safety. Perhaps chase off these Iron Hell Gunners, try to finish them for good. They do currently have a Jade Shield on them for some bizarre reason. Skull Cannon in the back is being hunted down by Fleshhounds. Looks like the Warsleds trying to save their ally, which is pretty noble of the Kislev forces. Would the Demons do the same for them? Unlikely. Now, Grand Cathay have really managed to kind of rally themselves from an early difficulties where they were getting overwhelmed and their formation completely broken. Look how many range troops they've had firing consistently into the middle. Elemental Bear starting to go down here a little bit. That Soul Grinder is a very, very healthy. With an epic duel up in the skies, Be'lakor versus Daniel. Who's your money on? Mine is definitely on Be'lakor. He is very, very powerful. And he's coming in with Shadow Shroud. He has Curse of the Slug on him, making him sluggish and slow, but a Wall of Fire in the backdrop. Can't get more metal than this. And it looks like Daniel is about to be just dead. He doesn't sound much of a chance there. Demonic Onslaught has been popped, but Be'lakor's Shadow Shroud means he is a shadow which bites you and haunts your every dream. And yeah, Daniel, he put up a good fight, but it is going to be the end of him. It looks like the red team's running out of juice. The Exotic Bloodletters are moving in, trying to get some more death and carnage in the name of Khorne. But where is Khorne? Where was Khorne when the Westfold fell? I don't see him anywhere. And the Nurglings are fighting Nurglings in what is probably the most beautiful and cute battle or mini skirmish in this battle as they bound into each other, giving each other lots of kisses and hugs, trying to out-pestilence each other. Heavy Warsleds doing a decent job in the back here, just running over Blue Horrors and trying to get themselves back into the game. There is, unfortunately for them, some Iron Hell Gunners who are about to pop some shots in their domes. Looks like we get some lovely Fire Dragon Breath Attack go down on top of the Warbear Riders. Cathay is looking a little bit beat up and haggard at the moment. The Sky Lantern continuing to pop shots though. Bucket tons of ammunition still left. And I wonder what they're firing into. You would hope the Elemental Bear, who is currently dueling the Soul Grinder. Lovely micromanagement here by the Demon player, though. Getting Be'lakor to fly up and around behind the Elemental Bear before charging in for that rear attack bonus. Big slash right up the arse. Not what the Warbear or the Elemental Bear particularly was a big fan of. Enfeebling Foe goes down. He's trying his best to draw a Soul Grinder. Not an easy task when Be'lakor is at the gates and knocking. Heavy Warsleds are moving around. It looks like the majority of the Kislev forces are kind of holding on, mainly because of their faction trait and a little bit of faith that maybe Mother Kislev will come to their aid, and now I think reality is starting to settle in for them a little bit as they break, flee, and run to save their own skins. The Elemental Bear does disappear into a thin, smoky mist. I really love that death animation. And that is going to be a glorious victory for the AI and human alliance over the two players, which is pretty cool stuff. And hey, the AI, he was weird in the beginning. He did some weird deployment stuff, as they often do, but I actually think the fire support was pretty nice there by the AI. How did the archers do? I reckon it's going to be relatively spread damage. Yeah, not too bad. Just kind of in the mid-hundreds. 1,150 for the Jade Warriors. 1,000 for the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen. Hiding the cannons in the trees. Maybe not the best, bold strategy of all time. As Sun Tzu has said multiple times, though, if you spring 2 double grand cannons on your opponent from point-blank range, it will confuse them greatly. And I'm sure it did confuse our opponents. Alas, it was not the greatest tactic of all time. Well played, and massive shout out for Chef for sending this one in. Really fun to cast a 2v2. If you guys enjoyed 2v2s and want to see more Bellicor action, look at that, 100 kills and 3,300 value. Let me know, if you want to see more 2v2s and these kind of big, large-scale epic battles, I'm always happy to cast them as well. My god, the Flesh Hounds performed amazing. I'm also quite happy to do maybe some large epic sieges or something, like some 3v3 sieges, if we can get some players together to organise some good fun ones of them. But apart from that, guys, that's been the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more content like this into the future. And leave a comment down below what you thought of the battle in general. There's a bucket ton of links in the description. Twitch, Patreon, Discord. Be meaning to stream on Twitch this week. Alas, my sleep has been evading me greatly, so I've not been able to do that too much. But I will be streaming on Twitch again in the near future. And yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And you can support me on Patreon. I also do lessons there. So yeah, you can go over there and check it out if you're new to the multiplayer scene and want to get involved in the glorious action. Awesome. Let's go through the remainder of the damage value on this one. You can pause if there's any notable standouts that you really want to see. But apart from that, until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.